Roy, let me ask you this. You wrote an email to the sheriff that has gotten widely disseminated. Did you mean for this email to get out like it did?
No, I actually basically wrote it to the sheriff, and I copied my commissioners because I always try to be transparent, and it was an issue that was a commission issue. So, Chief Prator and I go way back, so I have a lot of respect for he and his office, although, being in the political arena, we have differed on issues going back to, I guess, 20 years or more when I was on the city council. So, I have a lot of respect for him, and when I came on the commission, the first thing I did was sit with him in his office because I had heard that there was some strained relationship between the two. And being a senior, I guess I can consider myself a senior public official, over 40 years, over 20 years, 25 years in public service. I felt it was my duty as a new commissioner to sit down with him and talk to him because I know the commission does have a relationship with him, although he does not have to answer to the commission according to him. I can understand he's an elected official also.
Excuse me just a second, Mr. Roy. If you had known that this correspondence with the sheriff was going to, if you'd known it was going to go public, would you have said anything different?
No, I wouldn't. No, I'm pretty straightforward, and Robin, I don't know you as well as I know Erin, but she knows I'm pretty straightforward with the things that I have to say.
You
and it wasn't a reflection on him. He and I have talked politics before because I know he's a pretty high-ranking official in the Republican Party for a number of years. And so we don't, I don't get crossways with him on that. I've been a Democrat, all my life, even from my dad. So I wasn't going to apologize for that.
Roy, you say in this email, referring to the re-Trumplican was your word, a political base that, and I'm quoting you, that 75% supported the Capitol insurrection and one that you, Sheriff Prator, you're referring to, and Commissioner Chavez are rumored to be a part. That's a pretty strong allegation.
I mean, what's strong about it? The sheriff is, he's made it known that he is a Republican. I don't hold that against him. He just happened to be in a different party, and I know he is strongly supported. In my observation and in my discussion with people in the political arena, he's a pretty strong Trump supporter. So, I just kind of put the two together because that is kind of a national. I guess from a national standpoint, they've used that term on a number of different newscast programs, just putting both of those together.
Excuse me a second, Mr. Roy. Do you see a difference? Pardon me, sir. Do you see a difference? Because I'm not sure you do, between Trump supporters and those that stormed the Capitol. Are those sort of lumped together in your mind?
Well, to some extent, based upon national reports, yes. I mean, the 75% that I used was based upon information that I take just like everybody else when they watch national news, Fox News, CNN, I think they got a new Newsmax. The conservative as well. I watch both of them. I don't, I just don't watch one single station in terms of national news.
And help me with this one here, because you seemed to, and maybe I misunderstand, you seem to intimate that the mayor's description of those who voted against the endorsement of national law enforcement appreciation.
The sheriff, not the mayor.
The sheriff, I'm sorry. Yeah, that'd be goofy. That the sheriff seemed to intimate, or you seem to intimate, that his use of the term Democrats instead of African Americans or blacks was sort of racially tinged. Do you still think that?
Well, that's one of the reasons why I made the statement that normally they would, they become more comfortable in saying black elected officials when there's something that they want to, I guess, inject or project on that group of individuals. And I noticed that in the sheriff's email, he did not say black elected official, nor did he say Democrat. But on your show, it was intimated that it was Democrat. And the bad thing is about that is that in Louisiana, Democrats is almost a bad word when it comes to our conservative Republican base. So being a state elected official, I'm on the Democratic State Central Committee, not only a commissioner, Democratic commissioner, but I have a state office, not voted statewide, but for my district. So I'm very sensitive to those type of issues, especially when it appears to be used from a partisan standpoint.
Let me ask you this, Roy, and I apologize. I've known you for a long time, so we're on a first name basis. Did you not ask the clerk to read this email out during regular session? So you wanted it out. You asked the clerk to read it, knowing that's going to get it out there, right?
Well, as I said, Aaron, and if you know me as well, I have no problem in being transparent, even if I wouldn't have. Even given the fact that I asked for it to be read, and in this particular situation, since the email from the sheriff was put out publicly, I can assure you that the email that was sent out was intended for the public. Then I was just doing a redress in this. And that's one of the reasons I had a problem, and I called you back once I thought about it, that you all would title it Commissioner Burrell lashes out at the sheriff. It wasn't a lash out.
Excuse me, sir. You sort of intimated that he and Commissioner Chavez were aligned with white supremacists. Wouldn't you call that lashing?
Well, I don't remember seeing that in my response about him being a white supremacist. There's how would you say, there is an understanding that white supremacists is aligned with the Republicans, if you want to use that, or the Republicans, many of the Republicans that support the president. I don't think that is a misstatement, not based upon national news.
So one more quick question, then we'll let you go, and we appreciate your time. Just to clear the air, explain why Roy Burrell, and if you want to speak for the other 5 commissioners, feel free to do so. Explain why you and they voted against the endorsement, the embracing National Law Enforcement Appreciation Day.
Well, let me be clear as I can possibly be based upon the resolution itself. We've had discussions about how other commissioners and myself felt about law enforcement across the nation, not so much here in Shreveport, because we do support our law enforcement in the parish as well as in the city. And I've had the opportunity to support law enforcement at the state level. So let me be clear. Again, I do support law enforcement because if something happens, I'm going to pick up the phone and I'm going to call And I have a relationship with these people because I make it a point to have a relationship with them. I have relatives who are in law enforcement. So, no, I'm not anti-law enforcement in sort of the way I think I don't think the sheriff really meant it that way, but I think there was an opportunity there to kind of throw some shade out there, and I think he did, so I was going to call him on it. I was going to call Mario on it. I called my other officials, too, and I don't care if they're black, white, green, or blue. If that is something that comes across the wrong way, you're going to hear it from me first. You're not going to hear it from the public. You're not going to hear it from Facebook, in which I've been attacked by it. I can understand that because people are very, very sensitive to that issue. But we must understand, too, because I've been a lawmaker, not only from the city standpoint, the state, now the parish. We create law in order for law enforcement to follow. They have to follow their own law. And when people get out of line, just because you're in law enforcement, then we as an elected official has a right to challenge it. We have a right to make a rebuttal if we don't feel that some of the decisions that they make are in the national. I mean, they are in the interest of the common good. We are held responsible. We are criticized constantly. You know, I mean, this is a very thankless job that we're in.
Sure.
And thankless meaning that people don't always thank us for the work that we do on their behalf. So I think the sheriff may have been a little sensitive to this and kind of jumped the gun. But I want him to know that I support him from all the millions of dollars that I've given over the years from the local, state, and now parish level. So I'm their number one fan when they're right, and I'm their number one enemy when they're wrong.